Development progress. So Paralives now has the Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle Pack integrated into its game. Yes, I say game, not base game, because Paralives is a game, not base game. Although the way they've done this, okay, actually looks really cool. They haven't given us much information about it, and we've basically only got this GIF, so you have got to take it with a grain of salt. They have made it clear that you will have realism in terms of the economy. So as you can see, there are lot taxes, which is really, really cool. This is it's calculated as 1% of 22,700. So I'm assuming that lot taxes are basically 1% of the total cost of the build. I think that's a cool way to go about it. And then you've got electricity. And then of course you've got water too, which is based on consumption. Also kind of related, but unrelated. Like, I don't know why they did it, but they posted a picture of their development team doing some like lake activity. Anyway, it shows you, I guess, how many people are working on the game now. So it seems like they have quite a lot of people. What started off with just like one person is now quite a lot. According to their Patreon, they are making £28,270 a month. That is just under 36,000 US dollars apparently, or just under 33,000 euros. That does sound like a lot of money, but considering the amount of people now that are obviously working on the game, it probably gets stretched quite far. So I know a lot of people have been saying like, Paralives are getting all this money from their Patreons. Why have we not seen any gameplay yet? Making a video game like this ambitious, is obviously very expensive, and they obviously have a lot more people working on the team now. And obviously they're not all being paid the same. Like, let's be brutally honest, the guy who started all this, like, he's getting paid a bit more. So if you are a fan of the prospects of the game and you're enjoying the development and you can afford to do so, if you considered becoming a paid Patreon, then it will likely help the game to come out faster. Obviously that's your choice. This video is not an ad, just saying. They basically showcase what kind of objects count towards bills. So you can see there's a bathtub, obviously a sink, a television, something I'm weirdly excited about. It's pathetic to be excited over this, but this looks like a radiator. Are we going to have like heating systems in the game? That genuinely excites me. I know that's so pathetic. It's just like a small level of realism. I think it's going to be really cool. And obviously like a fridge and oven, etc. They said that the bills would come in once every 7 days, and that these things are tweakable with mods if you are a modder. And they've also said that they may change it along with the in-game economy, and they have stated that they are going to make an effort with the in-game economy, which makes me happy because let's be honest, when we play The Sims, like, the in-game economy means basically nothing. Like, you can afford anything at any time. There's not even really a reason to get a job in The Sims 4. So I do hope that they like really nail the economy and make it really realistic so that it's actually properly challenging. But of course, if you do have the wind turbines or solar panels, then it can reduce your bills. You can also sell electricity. So you can see here it says plus $34. I guess kind of like you could do in the Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle, basically the same thing. So I think it's a really nice gameplay element, but also, again, it's such a pathetic thing to be excited about. They've actually spoken about child allowance. So child tax credit officially exists in Paralives, which is cool. Although they haven't said it's like officially going to be integrated, but they said they're testing giving a small amount of money per child who lives in the household. I think it's realistic. I have no idea what it's like in any other country, but in the UK, every single parent is entitled to child benefits. Even if you're a millionaire, whether you're extremely poor or rich, every single person basically gets an allowance for every child that's born, or basically every child that they have. And apparently they're doing this to help with the expenses that come with taking after the children. Although I do wonder, okay, what actually are the expenses of looking after a child in a life simulation game? Because if you look at The Sims 4, there are basically like no expenses regarding looking after a child. Like, it genuinely costs absolutely no money. Like, you don't have to pay for nappies, in other words, diapers. You don't really have to pay to like bottle feed your child. Like, you don't have to really pay for a child in The Sims 4. It's basically free. So I think it's something that maybe they would have to think about in order to implement it well. But I actually love the idea, okay, of just having social benefits in general. Do you call them I feel like American people don't call it benefits. Is that like a British saying when you get money off the government? What else would you call it? Like, well, I feel like do you call it welfare? Social welfare? Same thing, different terminology. Anyway, I actually like the idea of having benefits in general in game. Like, imagine if you had like unemployed benefits. So if you're not employed, you receive like a small amount of money from the government in the game. I think it's a cool idea that could be implemented very well into a game economy. Now, as we also know, weather is coming to the Paralives base game, which is going to be amazing. And they have stated that there will be thunderstorms that can cause power outages. That is honestly such a good idea. Like, I never even thought about it in every single Sims Seasons pack. I've never thought about the concept of having a power outage before. It hasn't crossed my mind, but genuinely think that's a really good idea to have power outages in the game. I think it add a lot of realistic chaos. They've also said that it will come with off the grid locks, so you don't consume any electricity or water. I don't know how that's going to work because obviously the Paralives world, they've already said the initial world in the early release of the game will be one very small town. How can you live off the grid in a small town? Like, what features will they implement in order to make that possible? Will there be like a well or a lake where you have to collect water? Like, how does this all work? Would it come with an in-game tent or something where you can sleep in? Like, we have absolutely no idea what that will mean. I feel like they've just kind of threw the idea out there, but they haven't really thought about it in depth. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Paralives do this thing where they say, oh, we're gonna have this feature, but they never expand on it. And it's like, are you just throwing an idea out there and maybe you'll just forget about it? So take it with a pinch of salt. But I think it's cool. But something really cool that they said in this post, paying more taxes so the town can organize more festivals and activities. They have stated this is just an idea for now. I'm just thinking, like, obviously people who like life simulation games like The Sims or like the look of Paralives, they also generally like other kind of farming coastal simulation games like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Stardew Valley, Coral Island, whatever. These kinds of games often have like festivals or activities in the town, and I genuinely think it would be a really good idea to integrate these into Paralives because I definitely think Paralives fits into that cozy game genre, especially the way that the game aesthetically looks, and it seems like the way that they're talking about it and making it, it looks like a very aesthetic cozy game. So having something like that implemented in it, I think would work very, very well for them, especially if it was a feature that was moddable so you could put in your own different kind of festivals and events. That would be really awesome. But being able to only be able to do certain events if you pay enough taxes, and I think like something like that would give you, I guess, kind of like an incentive to play with many different households so you can raise the taxes in many different ways. And the more you engage with, for example, if you purchase more things, you pay more tax, therefore you're more likely to get festivals and events. So I guess that would incentivize you to like enjoy the game's activities more if they integrated it well, of course. But they did say it was just an idea. Like, I think it's a really good idea actually, but obviously we're gonna have to wait and see because this is just an indie game. Not downplaying indie games at all, but obviously we've got to be realistic, like they don't have a humongous budget. In addition, they've also shown off some wedding hairstyle clothes and accessories. Now this is not weddings gameplay, just to confirm, these are poses. Paralives have been working on a photo mode where you can basically take pictures of the paras in, you know, certain situations. So in regards to the photo mode, what you're actually seeing here is not weddings, you're seeing para folk in photo mode. Although they've shown off brand new outfits. You might have noticed that a lot of the outfits, by the way, are very simple. A very important thing to say, the Paralives people have basically come out and said that they're focusing on making clothing that's very simplistic so that it has like a broad appeal, which makes a lot of sense, to be fair. I think it's very simplistic and it works. Especially like this suit here. I've been dying for something like this in The Sims 4. We've never got it before. A lot of people have been complaining about the art style, about the outlines around the characters. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea why people are complaining about it because I think it looks like, I feel like people have in their head that every single life simulation game must look and be in play like The Sims 4 because they only know The Sims 4 and people don't like different things. It's like when you order a pizza, you know, every single time you order a pizza, you order a pepperoni or whatever your favorite is. You never try any new toppings because you just want the same thing over and over and over again. I think people just like to have the same things over and over again, so people don't like change. I think that's why people don't like the style. I personally absolutely love the style of it. I think it looks perfect. A lot of people though have said, which I agree with, the kids look like sized down adults. They don't actually look like kids. Somebody commented, my only thought is that the kids look like scaled down adults. Will there be more than one stage of life for kids? And the developer said, yes, we are still working on that. Does that mean they are still working on the fact that kids look like scaled down adults, or are they working on more than one life stage for kids? Is it both? Like, it was a very vague answer to the question, so we actually have no idea. Also, they were showing off some brand new jewelry. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, like this collarbone and neckline, it looks very pro Anna, and I think it's a little bit uncomfortable, and I think they need to tone that down because that's a little bit severe in my personal opinion. They shouldn't be doing that for obvious reasons. But in general, this new wedding sync, like, it doesn't show much. Yeah, I think it's just a little sweet update that we've got. I mean, weddings in The Sims 4 are absolutely horrific. So I'm going to take this with a pinch of salt because weddings in Paralives may also be absolutely horrific, but we're going to have to wait and see. They also recently showed us some more build items. So this is, yes, we do have radiators. I'm going off on a tangent. Yes, we do. It is confirmed. I'm so excited to be able to have a bloody radiator in this game. Also, looks like we've got dishwashers according to this next screenshot, which is pretty cool. And that looks like, see, I love the details in this game. That looks like a little curtain, like a half open curtain in front of the washing machine, which is pretty cool. It seems like in all of their build screenshots, like they've got a lot of clutter items. So I'm sure the builders will be very happy with this game. Now, according to their development roadmap, there's a lot of things that they have done already that they've said they've done regarding live mode. But in terms of features that we do know they've implemented to at least some degree, characters have basic needs. They can age up. They have rabbit hole jobs and schools. Characters can die. They can get pregnant and have kids. So I guess we've already got some of the core basics there, which is good. They're currently working on things like a piano skill, animating bed sheets when characters are sleeping in a bed, performing group interactions, a basic gardening system, a painting skill. Obviously, a lot of these things are like core life simulation features. So that's why I'd say take the development of the game with a pinch of salt for now, because even though they've shown us some basic social things and some basic interactions and animations, at the end of the day, these things are just animations and not gameplay. We've so far seen basically no gameplay for Paralives other than build mode and the Paramake mode. We haven't actually seen anything for the live mode, which is obviously the most important thing. I wouldn't want to rush them to make anything for live mode, but I personally think it would be a good idea for them to make up something and release it to the public just so they can say, hey, we are working on the gameplay itself. Please support our Patreon so we can do it better and faster. I think they should do that because a lot of what we've seen so far is very aesthetic, but not necessarily gameplay. And I will be constructive because, you know, The Sims 4, it's not a life simulation game. It's an aesthetic DLC simulator where you purchase DLC for the sake of having a brand new aesthetic, but not necessarily gameplay. Even though I think Paralives looks so beautiful and cozy, I don't want it to be an aesthetic simulator. I do want it to be a life simulator. So hopefully soon we actually get to see some life in the game. With a small development team, obviously we have to be very patient with it. That's why I rarely ever do updates for Paralives, because like we don't genuinely get enough information coming out. When will Paralives be released? Maybe in 1 year, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 100 years. We don't know. But I hope as more people get to know the game, hopefully they'll be able to make more income. I mean, surely there is a way to make a little bit more money other than just Patreon. I have absolutely no idea how business works. Like, do they set themselves up as a limited company and then people can buy shares in it? Like, could they do something like that? Like, I have absolutely no idea. But it would be cool if they could grow and expand in other ways. I'm not a business person. That's why I play video games on YouTube all day. I don't know anything about making money, really. On an unrelated note, guys, do you like my little hat? Isn't that really cute? I would never ever wear this like out in public in my entire life. I just thought it was like a little bit of fun. I feel like a Final Fantasy character and it doesn't fit my big fat head in the slightest, but I have it so it's mine. If you enjoyed this Paralives update, you may also enjoy my more recent Life by You update, so make sure you check that out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.